Actually, hold on a second. I got to turn Elizabeth on for a second and then back off so I know to later on make sure I cut out all this terrible conversation after the fact.
Wait. Do it right after this.
Nodal. I swear to God, if a word comes out of your mouth, I'm going to drive to your house and douse it in kerosene and light it on fire.
Destil spells cheap wrong.
That's true, he does. Okay, so we're back to the game now. Hi guys, how you doing? My dinner was delicious. And Nodal might get his house burned down. So, you guys need to start formulating a plan of attack for Eudach's village.
Yeah.
So what are some ideas? Well, let me start with this. Let me start with this, because that's kind of a broad question. Let's kind of narrow it down. Like, what is the ultimate goal?
Well, the ultimate goal, or at least one of the goals, is I know we want to drive out the Silver Eye. But
Okay.
do we care? But like, what's our goal after that?
That's
like,
good. Yeah, that's what I mean. As far as the family
we'll be basically back to where we started, which is the Eudachs and a bunch of slaves.
Yes.
Tarin's all for freeing the slaves and dropping the Eudachs off in Kiska to figure out their fate.
What are we going to do with the slaves?
And you think, you think they're going to come quietly? Like, you think they're going to say, okay, well, we'll lead us back to Kiska, and we'll see what happens to us there.
What the hell's going to happen in Kiska? Slavery is legal there, too.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
Yeah, they haven't broken any Kiskan laws.
Right. No, I'm just going to drop them someplace.
They have. They're not bound by Kiskan law, but they're definitely in violation of Kiskan laws because they treat their slaves abusively.
Right, but what I'm saying is they're not bound by it.
Right.
No, I'm not saying to drop them there for justice. I'm just saying that's a good place to throw people I don't care about.
We
So
can
wait,
employ.
is that our plan?
That's
We
no,
can-
we don't
What
have
do you
a
hope
plan.
for
What are
that
you
to
talking about?
accomplish? Because
Well, I
I
mean-
don't know if you are aware of this, but Kiska is not a demi-plane that they can't come back from.
Right.
not everything's a demi-plane, Tarin.
But if we take all their money and power and stuff,
We can employ the slaves on at our inn on our farms if we need.
Do we
to.
know that they want to work on our farms?
That's-
Aren't they
That's
just
the
going
other
to go...
thing. Is that if they don't want to, they don't have to.
Well,
But what are
an
they going to
orphan,
do about them?
Orphan, you spent a lot of time talking to slaves in various places.
Mhm.
The people that you've met in Kiska and in Eudach's village who were born and bred into slavery, they don't know another way of life. When you hear Tarin and Eldove and Arik debating back and forth about the virtue of taking these slaves and employing them on your farm, their concept of you employing them doesn't make sense. And Eldove, the same kind of thing happens in the outer reaches of the kingdoms you're familiar with, because while there's not slavery, there are serfdoms. Like, a lord has people working his land, but they're his people working his land. They don't get a paycheck.
Yeah. Also,
Here's the thing.
keep one other thing in mind, and this is not in character, but just out of character for a second. Taking these people back to the Blue Worming Inn and paying them a wage to do work is, out at the Blue Worming Inn, effectively slavery. They have nowhere they can go to spend this money. There's nothing for them to do out there but work.
Well,
If we took them out there, they'd be, like, at best, indentured servitudes.
the
Or
key
indentured
caveat being,
servants.
we wouldn't be abusing them.
Well, that's
So,
true.
And
If
we would give
that's
them
our
the money,
pitch, then that's gotta be our pitch. Not
Well-
we're liberating you from this life.
But that's not true, because we're, a couple days travel from two major cities, and Khalil and his company have been escorting people. Like, they could travel if they wanted to.
I think
I'm just
what
not
Nich
sure.
what Nich is saying is that they don't know another life to travel to. They don't know enough to want something better than what they have.
Yeah, it's not like we're taking them to Kiska and setting them free there, where they could like see how other people live.
Yeah,
We're taking them to a farm where they will farm for us.
I understand that, but I think
I'm fine
I
with
think-
taking them to Kiska.
I think dropping them off in Kiska would be way more of a culture shock than bringing them back to our inn.
no, the
The culture's
No,
a lot closer
it
to
would.
Kiska.
I just don't want us to like get illusions about what a good thing we're doing about freeing
Well-
these slaves from their life and taking them back to the Burning Inn, where they will be our
I think-
slaves.
But they're not going to be our slaves. We'll give them their own. We'll give them their own piece of land. They'll be able to have their own life. I mean, yes, farming is what they know, and that's what they do at
So you're
first.
saying we're going to give them quarters like they have now, and we're going to give them a plot of land they can
I guess.
farm. Like, I don't know if what I'm saying is coming across here.
I understand what you're saying, but I think Zook is a little bit. Zook lives longer than humans, so he's thinking generationally. He's thinking you save these people, you give them some land, you let them have their own lives, and sure, maybe the people, the literal people that we rescue, will not know much of a change. But if you give them their own land and you let their children can do what they want to do, they can leave the farm if they want.
Here's the thing: we've already done the rescue someone from slavery and bring them places thing, and they hung themselves.
We brought him to slavery. We fucked that one up.
Well, now, and Traeger wasn't a slave. He and his family owned farmland that was devastated by drought.
Yeah. No, we screwed the pooch badly on that one.
No, we screwed up everything about this. We made the situation for those people worse.
And that's what I'm trying to make sure it doesn't happen now. Because I want us to really think that this through.
Well, here's the thing.
Quote unquote liberate these people.
We can do one of two things. We can take them to our land where we know that they will be protected by our people, or we liberate them and allow them to stay where they are, but then we have to provide them protection, because otherwise just some other mercenary group's going to come around and take them over.
And I'm not willing to take responsibility for these people out in the middle of nowhere and come check on them every day. Like,
and that would be, to me, that's even worse than bringing them to our land, because they're still, I mean, then there's no chance that anything gets better over time.
My argument is, we're not trying to grossly change their way of life overnight. We're trying to change their long-term situation. Their long-term situation right now is they're being abused, and the children's children are going to be in the same situation.
That's cool. I just want us to all be clear on what the actual goal we're affecting here is.
Well, and the thing is, if one of them says, hey, I don't want to go farm in your village, then we'll drop them off in Kiska, we'll take them to Dunfoss, we'll do whatever they want.
What if they want to stay where they are?
Then they can stay where they are, but they would do that under the knowledge that we're not protecting them. We're just giving them the option.
Okay.
Someone wants to stay, we'll leave them.
If someone wants to stay, what we're doing is we're killing their protection, shitty as it may be, and then we're leaving them there.
Can I ask a quick question before you guys continue?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure, like, is a lot of this conversation happening out of character, or is this your characters all arguing about it?
I feel like what I'm saying is Zook.
Okay.
This is in character.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
this is in character.
Cool.
This is in character.
Resume.
No, I mean if somebody desperately wants to stay, they do it in the knowledge that there's no protection. But I think that we tell them, we will protect you. You can farm our land. It's, we'll give you your own place. It'll be yours.
We won't abuse you.
We won't abuse you.
All right, but we should emphasize that we won't abuse you, because that they'll understand. They won't understand what we're saying when we say we'll give you your own land.
That's fair.
They're living outside of the law, right? Where they're not taking care of their slaves, they're abusing their slaves.
There's no law.
Not in the sense that they're breaking any law. They're in a region that is lawless. The Eudachs are the law on their own land.
All right.
I mean, to be
so
fair,
it's not like we can alert the authorities and then just be on our way.
No.
And the other thing is, I feel Zook might be a little misunderstanding what our situation is right now, because like you're saying we're going to pay these people a wage. We don't pay our farmers a wage.
You do not.
Like, they're our farmers.
No, the benefit that your farmers receive on your grape farms is that they have their own life in a new place. They have the protection of your garrison, and they have the wealth that comes in, the little tiny bit of wealth that comes in through your inn and your trading post. But no, you do not pay them a wage. Your innkeeper, the guy working your trading post, you probably pay them a wage. And
oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, not like we are literally paying them a wage, but they will be able to. They earn a living, though, right?
Yeah.
They keep what they. Yeah, not like we're giving them a salary, but like they have a farm. It's theirs. They earn their money.
Well, the farm is not theirs. The farm is yours. That's what we're saying. Is you own the land, which means you kind of own the serfs that work the land as long as they work it. Right. They can't grow a bunch of grapes then sell them because they're their grapes. They're your grapes.
Okay. I maybe misunderstood the economics. So we are technically a serfdom.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's still a step up from slavery.
It is, especially considering you don't treat your serfs badly.
Okay. We're a serfdom except for the sense that they're not under contract to us. Like, if they left, we wouldn't hunt them down and bring them back.
You could, but you probably wouldn't. Like you would have that right.
I'm just going to go ahead and say that legally we wouldn't have the right to
Okay.
under our code.
How about morally?
Do we
Morally,
have a
that's a
code?
shitty thing to do.
Are we
Probably
under?
have something.
Are we under larger rule, or are we just a duchy to ourselves?
Technically, you are a duchy within the borders of Caer Tyrell, but practically that doesn't really mean much because Caer Tyrell is a lot of land that they've claimed, but it's really lawless. It's wilderness. It's no man's land. The goblins and orcs are thick there.
So basically, the law of blue roaming is what we enforce.
Yes. Now,
Okay.
a couple of years from now, after you guys establish you're more of a presence there and make it safer and there's more trade going through there, at that point the queen may take more of an interest in what's going on there. For right now, you guys did her a great service. She had this patch of land that nobody wanted, and she decided to give it to you because that way she would not have to give you a purse of 50,000 gold pieces.
Okay.
What's our
Wow.
what's our contract of nobility under? Because what rights does she have with regards to us? If she starts asking us for taxation, does she have that right?
Yes. She hasn't so far, though, because I don't know why.
That's the thing. What I'm asking is, would she, under current legal standards, would she have the right to do that?
Yes, by Caer Tyrell's law she would, but so far she hasn't.
Okay. Anyway, but back to the actual operation at the Eudach village.
Yes.
Right.
So we're not precisely liberating them. We're offering them a chance at a better life that is very similar to what they have now without the beatings.
And I think that we are offering them that, but at the same time, granted they probably wouldn't want this, but if somebody wanted us to drop them in Kiska, drop them in Kiska.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, because there were some. I don't know how many others, but there's at least one slave who was captured on a pirate ship and was not a farmer by trade.
And hell, if he wants to work our pirate ship too, he's more than welcome to do
No, he
that.
is working our pirate ship. That's how I know this.
Are you talking about?
yeah,
Are you talking about
We're talking
Benipe?
about Benipe.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We brought
Benipe
this
was
name
he
up.
was not born into slavery. He was born in Tetlateus, and I think he was a sailor.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I
Right,
said.
he
There
got
was at least
captured
one
and sold into
slave
slavery.
that has not just been lived their whole life knowing nothing but working on this slave farm.
That's
I don't
true.
actually know how many more there
Be
might
right
be,
back.
but
You could ask Benipe.
We've only owned one slave so far, and we sent him to die in an arena.
Yes.
So we're maybe not the most responsible of slave owners.
Maybe not. So the ultimate goal then, and I'm just going to try to paraphrase the discussion you all just had. The ultimate goal is to remove the Eudachs from power, ensure that they can't just come back into power at a later date, and to give a better life to their current slaves. Did I understand that?
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
And take all their shit.
And take all this shit.
And take all their shit.
Okay. So now how are you guys going to go about accomplishing this?
Oh, I have a question.
Yes.
What kingdom do the Eudachs belong to?
Nobody.
So nobody's gonna have a problem with us rolling in
No.
there.
No,
Absolutely
no,
not. You are very far away
Because-
from any kind of
yes,
civilization here.
the last thing that happened was somebody else rolled in there and did the exact same thing we're thinking
Yeah.
to do.
That's
And
the
no
whole
one
reason.
cared.
That's the whole reason there's a problem is because the Eudachs don't belong to a kingdom.
Yeah, for some reason, the Eudachs, a couple of generations ago, Kefos would actually know. He says 12 generations ago, managed to take this land and begin farming it around this source of water, and they held it when nobody else could. I'm going to actually load up Eudach's village here. You guys aren't here, but we're talking about it, so I'm going to load it up here and kind of refresh everybody's memories.
I don't know, maybe we are there. Do I have anything from Eudach's village?
Because you remember, the Eudach's village, one of his ancestors was going to build a large keep on this southern hill here, remember? There was the ruined statue that was there before there was a village here. And across from that, he was going to build a keep. It turned out to be too expensive of a project. The keep's foundations are laid, but nobody's built up the walls yet. And it's been in that situation for a long time. The Eudachs were just the first family who were able to come in here, establish their position, and then hold it against marauders and whatnot. And eventually, their reputation was great enough that now kind of nobody messes with them at this point. Nobody wants the aggravation. Because it's really hard to roll up in the village and take control of it. Which is what you all are intending to do.
Yeah.
So, as to the question of allies that you all can possibly enlist in your attack against Eudach's village? Do we have any ideas?
We're thinking about
ideas.
Iron Glove was one.
Okay. I'm also going to point out, you talked to Poem, but you talked to Poem before you knew anything about what was happening in the village.
Yeah, we haven't. Yeah, Poem is on the list because we've never really leveled with her with what we're actually planning to do.
Okay, so let's just. Who else is on your guys' list? Let's put it that way.
We're gonna get. I think we're gonna try and do ascending to Poem because previously she's kind of blown us off, but now we're gonna be more clear about what we're up to.
Okay. And who else?
Lady Iron Gloves. Still would like to get a hold of Amina. And then the other lady, who
The
is...
daughter.
The daughter.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna try to get the daughter and her serpents.
Basically curious if we can get the whole thing with the serpents.
Now, Amina. You couldn't necessarily just, like, you don't know where she is, but if you put out word from the guild that you're looking for her, you might get word back.
Okay, yeah, Zook would be willing to do that.
No telling how long that could take, but...
Well, I think if we're actually talking about amassing, like, a force, I don't know that we're going to go straight from Kifos's keep to doing this. We may travel around some. So.
Oh, no, I'm assuming that you guys are putting a couple weeks of work after the keep.
Yeah.
Doing all this reconnaissance and getting all your ducks in a row.
Right, so Zook would definitely put in word through the guild that he's trying to track down Amina to figure out where she's at, what kind of strength she has.
Okay. So let's start with Poem then. Well, go ahead.
Do you guys think that we should spend some time finding out what magical protections they have on the land itself? Because, I mean, if our only goal is to get these slaves out, if they don't have any kind of, like, lockdown on the like, ward on the land, all I have to do is sneak in with a couple other people, and as long as I can see people, I can pull them out.
Well, here's my thought.
If we can get word to them to be willing.
Here's my thought. We could run reconnaissance on the place, and I'm wondering if an invisibility plus flying would be enough to get a lay of the land.
I'd be worried about it. I'm glad I talked to Kifos before I attempted what I was going to do, which was invisibility plus flying.
But since it's protected by mages, that might be a really bad idea.
Yeah.
My thought was
Arik,
that maybe...
can you cast Scrying?
Yeah, that's a thing I can do.
And my thought was we get a force
Let me
together,
pull it up on my spell book.
but we maybe try to go in stealthily and have this force ready to storm from the other side if we run into trouble. Or maybe even just to provide a distraction.
Well, I mean, we're probably going to run into trouble. I don't think that we should try to go in ourselves.
I think the most important thing for us to find out is what magical protections they have in place. Because if we can find that out, I'm confident that if we're not surprised by any bullshit coming up, I'm confident we can accomplish whatever we want here.
Right.
Like, what we're going to come into trouble with is if we go in there and we try to teleport out and we're blocked.
Right.
Yeah, that would constitute trouble.
I do not know dick all about magic to know what would cause that, how you predict that.
So we need some way of figuring out what kind of protection they have in place.
You have a very high-level rogue in your party.
I knew you were going to say that.
Who can use magical devices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he'd probably recognize it.
Well, should we go and try and talk to the daughter first, since we have to do that in person?
Yeah, do we want to go? Why don't we do that first? Why don't we go to the Oasis and try to talk to the daughter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's my other problem. Why does the daughter want to talk to us? Because the last time we interacted with her, we killed a bunch of her people.
Yeah, but we did that because they had been directed to attack us at the hands of the employers that they've left.
They also don't like slavery, and that apparently had a pretty hard time with the assignment anyway, and that's why a lot of them just surrendered.
Yeah, like
I agree with you. I don't think me or Orphan should come with you on this delegation.
No, that's definitely true.
That's fine.
Okay, so who's traveling out to the Oasis then? And are you commandeering Orphan's giant lizards that she bought and cared for very much?
Well, I mean, can we all travel out? I mean, how is this oasis big enough that we could all travel out there, but they could stay behind with the lizards while we go talk?
Absolutely. Like, I don't have a map for this oasis town, but I described it as kind of a bustling place. This is where merchants would hire on mercenaries and whatnot to travel deeper out into the desert to do business with elves.
Is it roughly circular? Because I have an idea for what you could use for a map.
Oh, I'm going to poop in your mouth. And then you're going to write a book called I Pooped in My Poop's Mouth. Getting pooped in the mouth by my own poopy mouth.
Getting pooped in by the book. I pooped in my own mouth by my poop.
So everybody's going to travel to the oasis. And from there try to get word of where the daughter and the sanguine serpents are.
Sure.
God, I wish Khalil was here this week, because his favorite weapon is something they'd probably want back. Unfortunately,
It's a good thing that weapon is currently in another plane of existence.
Right.
Oh, actually, should we... Hold on. Just as a matter of bookkeeping, should we leave Kefos's keep, go get our fucking weapons, and then go to this oasis?
Yeah. That's
Yes.
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 Oh, here's the other thing. Does Kefos have any problems with us having our weapons anytime we visit in the future?
As long
He
as
said we
you,
can cast magic.
yeah, as long as you. Well, he said you could cast telekinesis.
Well, sure.
Specifically
As
for
long as you
doing
don't raise arms against him or his, he does not consider you enemies in his walls. Remember, he was very wary about you because you guys were thieves and murderers and it caused all this ruckus. But once he met you and learned more about you, now that you've cut a deal, you've got hospitality in his house, and your part of the bargain is to not disrupt that.
Yeah. So
long
don't
as-
do any...
So, Brick, you're saying that, like, he's gonna have a problem if I start throwing fireballs around, but if I, like, cast comprehend languages, he's not gonna have too much of an issue with that.
Exactly. Yeah, you can come into my house and pull a book off my shelf, but you can't come into my house and throw all this shit from the refrigerator onto the floor.
That's not true, because I've been
He's
there.
not even eating that shit. Can I come to your house and park on your lawn?
I don't have a lawn. I'm in an apartment complex. So, you travel out to the oasis, and easily enough, you actually learn that the sanguine serpents have been taking a lot of jobs protecting merchant caravans going to a particular elven nation, just doing like a back and forth job, kind of like what Khalil was doing for you guys at the inn. This does strike you as strange, because it does seem like work that's kind of beneath the serpents, considering they are such... they were a particularly powerful and organized company. But members of the company, including the daughter, are currently at the oasis. And they're looking for a job.
Okay. Well, I guess everyone besides Eldove and Orphan, because Zook didn't
Sounds
actually...
a good idea.
So,
Zook
Tarin,
did-
Zook, and me.
Yeah.
yeah, I guess we go and just try to talk to the daughter and see what's up.
Okay? When you arrange for a meeting with the daughter, do you tell them who you are?
Aaron, do you want to...
Yeah, I will.
You will. At this, you get a response very similar to the one Kefos gave you. The daughter is willing to meet, but you better come with your hands out where she can see them.
Everyone think we so violent.
Y'all are pretty violent.
So, since we're actually splitting up at this point, let's just leave our weapons at the at our
Yeah, we'll
caravan.
leave with our allies. Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll go unarmed.
I'll just dismiss my packed weapon.
They have a pavilion tent sitting away from the oasis that they can break down and take with them when they travel. The daughter is sitting inside. I don't think any of you have had any actual contact with the daughter before. Nobody actually spoke to her, right? You guys talked with her underlings a lot. You actually didn't see her until the big clash at the end.
I don't think we ever actually saw her. I think we got out of there before she got out of the guardhouse.
You know what? I think you're right. So, you enter, and I no longer have a physical description of the daughter, but she's seen a lot of combat. She's young, but you can tell her experience belies her age. She's a lot wiser and stronger than her youth would let on. And she regards you almost indifferently as you enter the tent. She has two of her seconds. Zook, you going in?
Yeah, I'm going in.
Amina is there.
Okay, great.
And Amina sees you, and she doesn't give any regard to you at all. She doesn't, like, her eyes don't, she doesn't, like, a smile on her face, nothing. She just watches you all walk in. The daughter's 2 seconds, one of which is Amina, are standing at attention. The daughter is reclined on a mat on the floor, and she's eating her lunch. Picking apart, I don't know, a quail, some grapes, who knows. The tent is filled with military apparatus, lots of weapons, a couple longbows. You see satchels of arrows and things like this. Tarin, do you have Detect Magic up?
Yeah.
Nothing magical. I just wanted to get that out of the way now. Who's taking the lead on this when y'all walking into the tent?
I let the captain take the lead.
I was about
Unless
to
he
say, probably the
defers.
captain.
Daughter looks up. Says, all right, Captain Tarin, say your piece.
Well, first of all, I'd like to apologize for the fact that we came to blows the last time my group and yours were engaged. Why?
So I come to blows with people on one day, the next day I'm fighting at their side. It's the life of a mercenary.
If
Zook grins. Zook actually visibly grins at that.
if it's not too much to ask, would you mind if I ask you exactly what happened that removed you from the Eudach's village after we left?
The Eudachs accused me of being derelict in my duty, protecting their plantation. They accused me of purposely weakening the defenses of the plantation to allow hill giants to attack it. They accused me of letting a group of never-do-wells, I believe was his word, fitting your general description, causing a great ruckus at their banquet, and then standing down because they were asked to. He asked me if I had ideological differences that prevented me from doing my duty. I told him I did not. But I also refused to take my company out into the desert and search after you. Don't get me wrong, we're not friends. And you did not do me any great deed on that day. Several of my warriors died. Bloodily. At the hands of... at the hands of a woman who you very wisely chose not to bring into my tent today. She says, the reason I didn't chase after you is because doing so would have left the plantation defenseless, and I didn't know if the hill giants were coming back. Yeman Eudach told me that my services would no longer be needed, paid me through the month, and sent me on my way.
Well, when we were at that banquet, after a little bit of discussion, they basically accused us of bringing the hill giants in ourselves. Now, let me ask, first of all, do you actually believe that? Because it seemed like a few of your women were ready to run us through for it, but they faltered when they actually saw what was happening.
I don't think anybody believes that you were in Kefos's employ, no. And Kefos has no reason to want to take the plantation for his own. That accusation was patently ludicrous on its face, and I think even Yeman Eudach knew that.
Good. Just wanted to make sure that that was obvious to you as it is to me. Since you've left, things there have not become any better. In fact, every bit of reconnaissance I've found says that they've become, in fact, quite a bit worse. And I have some degree of personal interest that I have been negligent in allowing that to happen. I would like to return and right that.
You are the hero of the Eudach's village. You understand who holds the village now.
We've heard things.
Because in this past year, I've had 2 clashes with Palusum Horse-Eater. And I was on the losing end of both of those clashes. They have a force far in excess of mine. That's why I'm eating the scraps this far out in the desert. Until things cool down closer to home. Why are we talking?
Well, I mean, first of all, I thank you for the information. It's very useful. Secondly, I do need allies to return to Eudach's village.
This is your understanding you would be hiring me to fight a force that outnumbers my company 3-1. And
I said out.
which wields great magic.
Well, we're not slouches in the magic department ourselves. I think if we have allies, plural, remember you wouldn't be the only one, able to help keep off just the press of men, I think the elf and myself and our priest might be able to deal with the magic users.
She says, you come here today to negotiate a price?
Yes.
She turns as she asks her second, how many able-bodied soldiers do we have in the company that can be mobilized? And the response is, ma'am, we have 18. The daughter looks back at you. Says that 18 soldiers sufficient?
It'll do. We'll still need more, but again, you're not the only group that I'm looking to speak to right now.
Says, who else are you looking to speak to?
The bounty hunter, who was almost killed there, almost had her throat slit.
You said group. What other companies have you spoken to or mean to speak to?
Quick mind link to Zook. Any ideas?
Possible Lady Irongloves has a group with her now. I don't know, honestly. Could bluff it.
She sees your confusion. She responds, okay, you're not from Ramnes, you don't know how things are done. Hiring more than one mercenary company at a time can get very tricky very quickly.
Duke speaks up at this point. We're not talking to any other mercenary groups at this time, but possibly other people who would be able to bring force.
She nods.
Is that because splitting the loot becomes difficult?
She says, yes, indeed.
No, that's what I figured. I do run a pirate ship after all.
And she laughs. She says, do you now?
Yes.
Privateer.
Sidebar. We haven't checked in with that pirate ship in a bit.
No, Orphan had it just last month.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
fine.
Everything's fine.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
when you guys aren't using it, it's just going up and down the coast of Tetlateus.
Yeah.
Amassing treasure. I just rolled and there weren't any big takes in the previous month, so I didn't mention it. She says, what sort of plunder are you looking to take from the village?
Well, obviously wealth.
People.
You might actually know better than me. Also, we would prefer to free most of the slaves there.
She says, okay, and do what with them?
Find them a better life somewhere else. Somewhere they don't have to be under such cruel masters.
She says, okay, Captain, here's my price. 600 pieces of gold. I want 1/2 of the plunder of the Eudach's wealth. And I want you to turn over to me all of the girl children on the plantation.
I think this was mentioned to me that that's the way your group has recruited people traditionally, right?
Yes, it is.
Freed slaves. I'll have to make sure that that's all right with all my compatriots. I don't honestly have a particularly large problem with it.
She motions over to where her armor is standing in the corner. She says, Captain, look at my armor. She says, you can see that I can offer these girls a better life than farming any plantation in Ramnes. This is liberating them.
Duke will speak up and say, if any of the girls would prefer a different life, would that be an option to them, or do you force them into your servitude?
The daughter's second, the one who's not Amina, I have her name somewhere, I don't know where it is. She actually answers that. She looks directly at Zook and says, any of them who says they don't want this life speak out of ignorance. She says, the daughter can offer them, and then she's cut off. The daughter holds her hand up, cuts her off. She says, this is a Ramnean solution to a Ramnean problem. I have no interest in the farmers, I have no interest in the boy children, but the girl children you'll give to me in addition to my payment. Fair?
I have to make sure, again, that my compatriots agree. I don't see a particular deal with it, and I'll look meaningfully at Arik. If anyone's going to have a problem with this, it'd be Arik.
She says, Well, discuss what you need to. We'll be here until we take another job. I can't say when that will be.
All right, thank you. That seems like a fair price.
I have no problems if it's any volunteer, but if they want something else, then we should not compel them to go where they do not want to go.
Yeah, I'm a little uneasy about taking them away from their families, mostly.
Yeah.
I don't know how old she considers children to be.
To clarify, a child is anybody like over the age of 0.
Well, until what age? Like, when do they become adults?
You did not ask her.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll go back and tell this to Orphan and Eldove.
Real quick, Nick, can you turn up your gain a little bit? You're getting us some pretty bad static.
Oh, not sure I know how to do that.
Listen, some of us really enjoy Nick's static.
Just turn up, and mumble, just turn up your threshold a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Should cut it out.
Let's see.
Hopefully. That did it.
So you guys go back and talk to Orphan and Eldove.
Yeah, we relay that. Tarin doesn't particularly like the arrangement, but he doesn't think it's a bad one.
Duke's a bit uneasy about them forcing the girls into working for them. He's not sure if that's any better or worse than slavery. He wishes there was a way to arrange them that had the option to work for them or not. And Nick, if you're talking now, we can't hear you.
No, I know I muted myself. I'm looking for the game option. I can't find it. Sorry.
No problem.
Eldove's thinking about it, actually, at the moment. And, he doesn't really have a problem with it. It seems pretty reasonable to him.
It's not ideal, but I think it's better than not. Do we have any reason to believe that the serpents, like, abuse the recruits? I mean, other than making them fight, obviously.
No, and in fact, what you saw when you were in the village last year, they seemed very uneasy around the Eudachs who were mistreating their servants.
And other ones that we saw seemed pretty happy. I mean, obviously fighting is dangerous, but...
Was that the woman that you wanted me to put you in magical contact with, Zook?
Yeah, that's
that I couldn't remember. Do you want me to give you cast Dream on you tonight?
Yeah, I'd mostly just want to touch base with her. I might be able to get in contact with her without you doing that, but yeah, we'll try that if I don't talk to her before that.
Well, it's an 8-hour extended magical conversation that no one else can necessarily watch.
Fair enough. Yeah, if you can put me in contact with her tonight.
Okay, is the plan to go back and give the daughter an answer today, or are you going to wait till tomorrow?
I mean, it sounds like everyone agrees, but we don't have the timetable for when we'll make the attack.
Okay.
Am I wrong on that, Orphan? Does everyone agree that we're all right with this deal?
Nick?
I've gone and ruined Nick by bringing up his static. Sorry.
Oh, he sent a message in Mumble. So yeah. So let's go to Zook's dream then. Tarin casts the spell Dream that puts Zook in contact with Amina for 8 hours. And she's very impressed that you're walking around inside of her dream.
All Zook really wants to do is see if she's okay. You know, he kind of lost contact with her afterwards. First of all, the first thing he does is assure her that this is a private conversation.
Well, the first thing that she does is ask if you got her gift.
I did get a gift from her, didn't I?
You did.
What was it?
She's going to be very offended if you don't remember.
I know, but out of character, I forget what gift came from her.
She sent you the name of someone who had a formula to enchant your rapier.
That's right. That's how I have the +1 rapier. Yeah, and Zook will show it because, I mean, he controls himself over the dreams. He will show her his new rapier, and he is very happy about that.
She says, "Is your captain really looking to hire the serpents to go back and storm Eudach's plantation?"
We're trying to see if we can amass enough force to feel confident doing it at this point.
And she laughs, a little bit unkindly, a little bit like you're insane, and she just says, why?
We felt like we left too much unfinished when we took off out of there, and we made people's bad situation worse.
So? They're not your people. What do you care?
That's just what we do.
You and yours seem to be doing very well for yourself.
Well, I mean, our possible, our not as sincere ulterior motive would be to expand our property. If we could get some people to work our land out of the deal, it wouldn't hurt.
This is just a private conversation with Zook, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this is a dream.
Oh.
She says, so tell me, what is the captain's end game? Raise the village to the ground, make sure there are no survivors, take all the slaves for himself, leave nothing behind?
Not quite that dramatic. Mostly just figure out a way to get the people who are being held against their will out of there and offer them either to work on our farms or we'll drop them in a port of their choosing. But we imagine many of them don't know any other life, so they would choose to work for us under better conditions.
He says, well, there's more value in flesh on the plantation than in gold. Surely you know that. You're going to take their greatest prize away from them. I'm not judging. It's what I would do.
Are you talking about from the serpents or from the...
She's talking about the slaves at the village.
The slaves of the village?
The slaves have
right.
more value than the Eudach's wealth.
Right. Yeah. No, that's fine. I mean, we're not interested in slave trade. We're interested in liberation more than anything else. But like I said, between you and me in this dream world, if they come and work our land instead, a little win-win.
She says, so who is left behind at the village when you're done?
Any surviving Silver Eye who managed to slip through? Any Eudachs who won't
Any
come
surviving Silver Eye? Do you actually think you're going to rout them all?
Well, we don't actually have our I don't know that we have our exact strategy yet. We still haven't finished our reconnaissance.
How big are your britches, Zook?
Much larger than you would imagine.
She says, I have no interest who's controlling the village. And by I of course mean we. And you know who I mean when I say we. Right now it's the Silver Eye, and I don't know if another operative has gotten inside. I don't know if someone is in there eating my pie, as it were, but I'm not happy about it.
Oh, you mean from our organization?
Yeah.
I can assure, as far as I know, no one has replaced you inside the Eudach's village. I know this because I was asked if I would like to replace that position, and I politely declined it.
She says, I've been out here in the middle of nowhere for the better part of a year. This is whatever's left in the village. Someone's going to come and take it. Somebody wants that land. It's good land.
Are you saying you want it?
She says, I deserve it. Not the land, mind you. I want eyes and ears inside of whoever takes it. It's mine. I worked for it. I deserve it.
I don't speak for anyone, but I imagine if you were to be able to get back on the inside there, you could have that position back.
She says, how do I do that without blowing my cover inside the serpents?
Do you want me to relay word back that you are still operational in the area? Because that is something I could do.
Yes, I want you to relay word of my failure back to the Guildmaster. That is precisely what I want.
No. I'm not saying your failure. I'm saying that once we take the place, to let it be known that you have successfully re-infiltrated that area.
She says, if there's anything standing at the end of your little sojourn into the village, I can send that word myself.
Fair.
What I want is to make sure that there's somebody standing.
I'm sorry.
If you leave nothing behind but bare sand and scorched earth, there's no reason for me to want to help you. There's nothing in this for me.
What would you have me do? Speak plainly. There's no reason to be coy in this dream state. You want us to leave the Eudachs in power?
Talk to your captain, renegotiate the deal with the daughter, leave the slaves on the plantation under new management of your choice so things go back to normal, and put the serpents back in control of protection there. Not a slash and burn, just a change of power.
There's two things that I would need to know.
Okay.
Main concern is the well-being of the slaves that are there. How could we guarantee that we wouldn't be leaving in much the same situation that we are in now?
I can give you a name, but you did not hear this name from me.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you what I'm offering.
Okay.
I have a lot of favors I can call in. A lot. And I can call them in for this. But in return, I want assurance that there will be significant return on my investment, and I want first pick from the Eudach's magic items. Whatever plunder you take from the Eudachs or the Silver Eye, I want first pick.
This will take... I can't promise anything because I know that my crew and my captain have come in with the
You operate
idea.
as an individual operative of the Guild of Shadows. Stop talking to me about your captain. Give me first pick and don't tell your captain you did. It's none of my concern, but stop answering to him. Do you want my help or not?
What can you provide?
She
We're
starts
already talking to.
she
We're already
starts-
talking. Oh, go ahead.
She starts listing off vague favors. Like, she's not giving you any actual details, but favors that she's done for other guild operatives in Romneus over the years that she worked, was in service of the daughter on the plantation. And you get the sense that she's been doing this a long time. She trades in favors a lot. What she's offering are other rogues like yourself who can be called in to provide a specific function, create distractions, to eliminate guards, to create illusions, to get through magical locks. She's basically going to be giving you a cadre of rogues at your disposal for whatever the plan is to take the village. And in return, she's asking you to make sure there still is a village, and she wants first pick out of the magical loot.
The problem with first pick of magical loot is my mages are going to be... They're going to have their antenna up, and it's going to be very hard to take something once they already have it in their
And
possession.
it's your job to convince them that you should have it, and then turn it over to me. And
Here's my
in
dilemma.
addition, I will give you this name, which
Here's
will
my
be of
dilemma.
great help to you.
Here's my dilemma. If I come out right out and tell them I can get us quite a force, but it's going to cost us first pick of magical items, it's possible that that wouldn't be a problem at all. If I try to simply take the magical items afterwards, probably isn't going to go down very well for me. These guys trust me. If I tell them that we can take this town, and I can bring in a lot of outside help, but it'll cost first pick of magical items, that's fine. I just need to know that I can present them that as an option.
You can tell them whatever you want as long as I get first pick.
Tell you what, I will take this to them because I still have to operate with them. Time being, and I'll try to get you those magical items. And if we have a deal, I will communicate to you the same way tomorrow night.
Do we have a deal?
I have to see.
You have to
If they're
consult
gonna
with
go
your
along with
captain.
it.
Yes.
Huh?
She says, "You know, Zook, I don't consult with the daughter on every decision I make concerning the guild."
The problem is if I don't tell them what is up, they're going to try to take those slaves with them.
She says, "You have to make sure that doesn't happen."
I don't think that I can go up against them with quite that scale.
She's going to give you this name. Perhaps it is a name that you've heard before. I don't know how you can find this man, but if you do find him, you may have an option to change the management at the plantation without burning it to the ground. The man you're looking for is Eudach. He goes by a different name ever since he ran away. They call him Redemption. I don't know what I want for that information yet. I think I'll decide before tomorrow night.
Okay. I'll talk to you tomorrow night.
And then she blinks you out of her dream.
Jesus Christ. That was a very bad night of sleep.
Okay, so next day at the Oasis. I should have probably gotten an Oasis village map, but I already didn't do that.
Alright, this is better.
Sounds the same to me.
Okay.
Wait, don't talk for a second.
It's
Okay,
better.
Yeah, it sounds the same. It's better.
It's a little better, but
No,
you still got a little static. Don't worry too much about it. So...
So yeah, the next day at the Oasis. Zook.
Duke wakes up, wanders off into wherever they're having breakfast around their camp, looking bleary-eyed and unrested.
You get used to that.
Captain, can I talk to you alone for a minute?
I'll tap my head.
So here's the deal. I can get us quite a bit more force. But the problem is, in exchange for this force, rather than liberating everybody, they want us to bring in new management to basically maintain the status quo, except minus the gross abuse of the current Eudachs.
I was considering having Eldove just cast Earthquake on the water source, in all honesty.
I wouldn't do that, since that water source is what's keeping the fog thing over what's-his-name's...
No, that's a different underwater river. Underground river.
No, he's talking about the spring that's at the hill in the Eudach's village creates the river that he needs to power his fog wall.
Oh, it is that one. Okay.
Yes,
Well,
Yeah,
never mind.
it's all
it's the
connected.
same spring.
Oh, damn.
If you mess with his spring, he might get upset.
So, I wouldn't consider that an option.
Yeah, okay, never mind.
The problem is... Yeah, there's a great interest in keeping a plantation here. And the impression I get is, even if I try to decline this offer, that there's still going to be a lot of force working against us to keep a plantation here.
I mean,
what the goal would be is to put the serpents back in, put in better management, but otherwise maintain the status quo.
I'm not directly opposed to that, though I'm finding I'm making a lot of inch by inch of sacrifices of what I want for what's possible. I don't see a problem with bringing out the rest of the group, though.
Okay. Let's do
Can I
that
ask
then.
the rest of the group, did it unnerve you at all that the rogue just walked up and said, "Hey, can I talk to you privately?" and then just sat there staring into Destil's eyes for what seemed like hours?
I imagine they're used to this shit by now.
Yeah, that seemed reasonable to me.
Okay.
We've all been there.
So do you bring it to the rest of the group? Do you bring everybody up to speed?
Yeah.
No, you didn't mention the magic item thing to me over the mind link.
No,
Oh
he did not.
shit. Okay. No, 'cause Zook's gonna say, they won't first pick of magic items.
Is that over the mind link or for everybody?
That's over the mind link before we bring it to the rest of the group.
We already give you most everything we find that isn't specifically for a wizard.
I've already got 3 attuned magic items.
Also, do we? I mean, I don't know what the hell the Eudachs even have at this
Yeah, I
point.
didn't see much in the way of magical items, so she...
Well, here's
this
the
person-
thing. These silver eye guys probably have some pretty
Oh,
interesting
that's
magical
true.
items.
Well,
Now,
I
as a
mean,
non-magic user, I don't give a shit.
really? If there was a +3 bow there, you wouldn't care?
Okay, a +3 bow, I guess that would count as a magical item.
Yes, it
Still would
would.
probably
Because
be
really,
first.
honestly, of this entire party, you seem to always be the first person asking what the magic items are. I decidedly remember you wanting me to make you like 15 scrolls.
Ultimately, Tarin's opinion is we will get more magic items working with someone to actually get this accomplished than not doing it at all, so sure.
Alright.
Eldove's thinking is that if I find something made for sorcerers, I'm just going to take it anyway. So
Well, that's the thing. If they don't know that there's a magic item, then just make sure they get some magic items.
We are seemingly promising a lot of things to a lot of different groups of people.
Oh yeah, we're definitely overpromising. Like, we're promising like 13 different things to 13 different people, and none of them are compatible.
Yeah.
Wait, no, I thought that didn't. Now this is out of character. Didn't she say that the daughter could have the girls?
No.
Well, what you negotiated with the daughter yesterday was that the plantation would basically be routed. You guys would take the slaves, and she would take the girl children. What Zook is saying this morning is that his contact wants the village to remain in place, the slaves to remain on the land, and the servants to take power at the gatehouse. She wants to go back to the status quo. And she gave him a name that could help him change management and get better treatment for the slaves, if that's what was concerning Zook. What she's saying is she can offer power in the way of rogues that she can call in to facilitate whatever you have planned.
Now, here's the thing. Now, it would probably lead to bad times for me in some way, shape, or form down the road, but you don't have to take her help.
Yeah, I don't see why we need her help. If we need rogues to do something, we have a rogue who can do something.
Yeah.
Well, this would be more like having another company, was the impression I was getting. Like having a small company of rogues.
Yeah, she was going to call in favors from all over the desert.
I'm just saying, you seem multi-talented. You can probably do about as much as a small company of rogues.
Okay, so what do you
I
guys...
don't see any reason to give our magic items away to replicate our already existing advantages.
So what do you
we
guys...
still need to.
When you go back and talk to the daughter today?
Oh, I thought we already agreed to it yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah,
Okay.
because nobody had a problem with it.
I mean,
Okay. So she's going to get her company together, and she describes to you a spot that is somewhat outside of the range of the Eudach's territory, up to the north past the village. She's confident that at this place, she and her company can remain out of detection from the Silver Eyes scouts. She wants the payment in gold up front, and the rest of it, she said she wanted half of the plunder from the Eudachs and the Silver Eye, and she wanted the girl children. That's what we're agreeing to?
Wait, hold up here. She wants to be paid, and also she wants half the plunder?
Yes.
She can have
Yeah.
she can have one or the other.
Well, if you're not going
She's
to
not
give her
getting
any of the
both.
plunder, her price is going to go much higher. Because you're hiring her to go to battle against a company that has defeated her in the field several times.
It seems to me that we're paying her twice for
You
the
are.
same thing.
Essentially, you are.
That seems ridiculous.
So you turn her down?
You're turning
I'm
down
not
everyone.
in a
he's
position
not
to turn
even
anyone
there.
down.
Fuck this village. Let's just leave it.
This is me talking to Destil when he's talking about the terms of our agreement with the Silver Serpents, and I'm saying, it seems to me like you haven't even haggled at all. Like you're just agreeing to her first offer.
Eldove, if you want to go and haggle, feel welcome to it. I just want to get this done over with.
Eldove, do you go and speak to the daughter? On behalf of Captain Tarin?
You know what? Fine. Yeah, sure.
Okay. You walk in, and one of them points says, "That's the one! He killed 5 of us!"
How would she know that? The only people that were there when I killed 5 of them were the 5 of them that I killed.
They're ghosts. Do you go with Eldove, Tarin?
I don't know, does Eldove want me to go with him?
But yeah, I'm not in any position to make any agreement without you.
Okay.
So Tarin walks back in the room with his lawyer.
Hey, they're a freaking company of mercenaries. They've dealt with contracts before.
Oh, yes, they have.
We haven't signed a contract.
Usually, the person hiring them, they expect a little bit of negotiation, not for them to just take the first offer. So,
Yeah.
you walk back in. The daughter looks up. Two of you.
And Eldove says, "It's my understanding that we're hiring you to do some work for us."
That's my understanding as well.
Now the thing is that Captain Tarin is not quite as accustomed to negotiation as I am. And while your first offer seemed reasonable to him, it seems a bit high to me.
What seems reasonable to you?
Well, and this is just going to be out of character, just so that I can talk to Brick. It's been a day, right?
Yeah, Tarin
And we're
talked
in
to
the
her
middle
yesterday.
of a place of an oasis where mercenary groups are hired.
Yeah, she could be hired at any second to go with this merchant caravan to God knows where.
All right, I spent the rest of the day yesterday finding out what a reasonable price for hiring a group of mercenaries is.
For a company this size, for 18 trained soldiers to accompany a caravan to go somewhere, this is way, way too expensive. But that's not what you're hiring them to do.
Right. I'm talking, like, specifically if any mercenary group has ever been hired to, like, say, assault a fortress or
Oh, yeah.
besiege a town.
Absolutely. And for a lot of those situations, the mercenary groups that are confident enough that they can handle it will go for maybe a cursory price, like a couple of gold per man, plus plunder.
How much of the plunder?
As much as they can keep. It would be like if you're a member of a mercenary group and your boss negotiates to get hired by this half-elf sorcerer, let's just, as an example,
Just throw that out there.
to go plunder this keep, and you go and you manage to find a room with a sack of 100 gold coins, you take those gold and they're yours now, and the half-elf sorcerer has no claim to them. What complicates
So
this...
it's weird that we're fighting with them.
It's pretty weird, but what's weird is not this negotiation. What's weird is the job. The job is to go to this established plantation, take on a mercenary group that's much larger, with both you and the mercenaries you're hiring have history. So it's a little bit unprecedented. Now the question is, when you're shopping around, do you offer the job to any of the other groups?
Do we know other groups?
That would be up to Tarin.
Well, I'm leaving it up to Eldove, because you're the one who said you spent the day doing the
Yeah,
investigation.
Tarin was busy talking to the daughter and stuff.